Hello everyone, Science Viking here. Still working on the crappy microphone. It's gonna take a little while for it to get replaced with a nicer one. And we're ready to start the next level on our journey through Myth the Fallen Lands.
Sunday, November 30th, outskirts of Silvermines. The old stories all tell that when Balor freed the Watcher from his prison under the cloud spine, one arm was left trapped in his prison of solid rock. Bound by a powerful confinement dream, it should have remained there forever, but it didn't. We're 100 miles from Bagrada, and 2 days ahead of the rest of the Legion today, outside a town called Silvermines, looking for the Watcher's arm. You have no idea how small it makes you feel to be poking around the ruins of an abandoned town looking for the shriveled arm of the second or third most powerful sorcerer in living memory. I don't understand how the arm got to Silvermines, or how the Nine knew where to look for it, but I can tell they want it bad. They hope to use the Watcher's arm against him if we find it, rather like knowing his true name, only better. Again, I don't pretend to understand. Problem is, the Deceiver is thinking the same thing. Some of the Fallen are over a millennia old, and their rivalries go back just as far. We know the Deceiver is looking for the arm too, and has been digging up Silvermines since last summer. We're going in this evening to grab it.
Alright. And we have to follow this guy. And yep, it's the same guy, Six Motion. He's been through a lot.
Let's go.
Anyway, with that, I'm going to quick get us up a fresh recording file, and hopefully when I return to you, I'll have a better microphone. But, well,
We must keep moving towards the arm.
I'm talking, Six Motion. I will be back in a second. Alright, got a fresh recording file.
Follow me. The arm is this way. Over here.
And this is only, they recast the voice of the Journeyman in Myth 2, but the voice from Myth 1 sounds disturbingly like specifically my grandfather. This is kind of interesting, but if you want to know, I guess this is more than you ever wanted to know about Science Viking, but if you want to know what my grandfather's voice sounds like, it's basically that guy. Anyway, so somehow, perhaps because he's psychic or something, the journeyman knows where the arm is and is going to lead us to it.
Let's go.
And the way it works is there are groups of enemies patrolling back and forth through this area. It's actually possible to avoid the majority of them.
Look out. The enemy.
Which is what we're going to do right now. The enemy can never find the arm. They will just try to catch us and kill us. Also, we have a new enemy type. This is a fetch. They're basically the enemy's equivalent of dwarves. They have the ability to shoot lightning at people. Not particularly surprisingly, this attack does a lot of damage. It actually has a blast radius. It hits a wide area. It can shred through groups of melee units extremely quickly. So, like I said, they're essentially the enemy's explosives unit. We're finally meeting them in level 12. No, this is level 11. The reason why I was thinking 12 is because I did Force 10 from I did Force 10 from Stoneheim twice. But the Fetch's attack, unlike the Dwarf attack, is a lot faster and is very accurate. So, if one of my units doesn't get hit by their attack normally over the course of this level, I'll probably go back and show in bonus footage what happens when your units get hit by it. But anyway, their attack is the main thing is their attack does not miss pretty much ever. And so, and basically if you're within range of a fetch, you're dead. Now, to balance this out, Fetch do not have any equivalent of satchel charges, whereas Dwarves do. So if you actually prepare and set up traps, then the Dwarves can still go toe-to-toe with Fetch, but Fetch, I feel like, are generally more powerful. Also, this is the arm, which to me always looked like a used cigarette. So apparently one of our enemies is the
Now we
Marlborough
must escape
Man.
through the graveyard.
Alright, now we have to escape, and now we can control the Journeyman. That's kind of the inverse of Homecoming, where we could control the Journeyman until we found the Codex, and then he would lead us out of the city. Which is kind of weird, because we don't know where the graveyard is. We don't really know where the... Like, they don't tell us where the graveyard is, and it wouldn't have been unreasonable to expect us to search for the arm. Maybe say it's in the mines towards the northern part of the village, but it wouldn't have been that hard to find. And then have him lead us out in this level like he did in Homecoming. Anyway, we really want to focus on taking out that fetch. The most reliable way to deal with a fetch is to have your archers just layer their fire on it until it goes down. Once the fetch is gone, the berserks can pretty safely handle everything else. I mean, having the archers provide fire support against the soulless can be helpful, but... And there's a second patrol, which we're probably going to have to kill. Okay, retreat immediately.
Ready.
Okay. I actually just unintentionally exploited the fact that an arrow can pass through a soulless and still do damage on the other side. Once again, the physics engine for this game is impressively detailed. But yeah, notice the bit of panic in my voice whenever a fetch comes near. They are very dangerous. And like I said, you will see why at some point. I fear them as much as I do. The other issue with fetch is their attack actually will destroy arrows that are passing through it. Because, you see, the Dwarven Grenade only is an explosion once it detonates, which makes sense. Normally it's an ordinary projectile, kind of like an arrow, until it reaches its target and explodes, and then it's an explosion. However, the fetch's lightning attack is treated as being an explosion for the entire time that it is in the air. And explosions destroy scenery objects. They also destroy projectiles. So a fetch actually has the ability to zap arrows out of the air. And in fact, in multiplayer and in some third-party levels where you can control fetch, I've made a tactic of this where I have the fetch attack the ground to destroy incoming projectiles that would otherwise kill them. But what this means is that it is extremely difficult to kill a fetch if it is attacking one of your units. It will just keep destroying the arrows that are coming towards it as long as it has a target to attack. So, it's one of the reasons why fetch are as dangerous as they are. This ramp up here leads to the graveyard, which is the exit to the level, but of course it's guarded by the one group of enemies in this level that we absolutely must fight. Now, another quirk of the fetch lightning attack, which I'm going to try to exploit here. Remember, it is treated as an explosion for the entire time that it is in transit. One of the effects of this is that all explosions can detonate satchel charges, including the fetch's lightning bolt. Thus, if a fetch is standing too close to a satchel charge when it launches its lightning bolt attack, the lightning bolt attack will detonate the satchel charge, killing the fetch. Unfortunately, I'm not certain that I will be able to demonstrate this.
Ready.
May as well heal the dwarf, we have enough. And now it's slightly more obviously... Oh, that's a fetch lightning attack. Two.
Yes. Right away. Hey, move it. Right away.
And that is the fetch lightning attack's ability to destroy incoming projectiles. And that is the Fetch Lightning attack's ability to destroy my entire attempt to survive this level. This is going poorly. Don't forget rule number 2. Go after the fetch. Okay, your turn. Go after the fetch. It is possible to take a fetch out by rushing it with berserks. It is not easy. You wonder why I'm afraid of those things. That's what they do. I'm still gonna, like I said, I'm still gonna try and finish this level, so at this point my only real option is to lure this fetch into a trap. And I'm gonna have to use a berserk to do it because they're pretty much all I've got. Okay, keep retreating. Oh.
Let's go. We'll do it.
And then the enemy turns back. You pull back farther here.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm moving.
If I can at least separate the fetch from the Myrmidons, I can potentially just use this as an opportunity to melee the Myrmidons to death.
Yeah, kill.
But this may just be us running back and forth, which I may have to set to music. Probably polka music. Just that idea has just occurred to me.
Let's go. Yeah.
That was unsuccessful.
Let's go. I'm moving.
Casualty.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm moving. Over here. I've got him.
Okay.
Let's go. Kill. Get back up.
I am attempting to heal this wound with berserk on the basis that any more fatalities would be a serious problem.
Casualty.
Okay, let's see if we can outrun the 2 remaining soulless, and then we might actually finish this level.
I'm moving.
Oh, we lost pretty much all the veterans.
Yeah.
We lost the entire just about the entire force we sent on this mission.
Let's go.
But we have the arm. I have a feeling that whoever's in charge is not gonna be happy with this. Well, 6 motion survived, along with Tyrvard of the Silver Hand, and those are going to be pretty much the only veterans we have. Kill ratio of 2.8 to 1. Also, this is another semi-glitch. If you have veterans, if you lose enough guys, it will start showing heroes who weren't actually in this mission. So the most experienced archer is somebody who we didn't actually have at all. But We made it. And we have met the Fetch. We have stared into the abyss as it has stared into us, and we lost half our guys. Wow, that metaphor got lost somewhere. Anyway, that's going to be the end for this part. So, I'll see you next time. In the meantime, this is Science Viking signing off, and as usual, I love you all, and I'll see you next time.